Hey, welcome. Dr. Parks here, founder of Essential Vitality, integrating conventional thinking with natural wellness for over a decade. In today's video, we're diving right into part 2 of the core of the most profound distinction in my 15 years practicing emergency medicine, how stress, or even fear, can actually make the body sick. In the first video, we built the foundation for how the brain receives information, judges that information, and then creates a response in the body. If you haven't checked out part 1, please go do that before coming right back here. Now, let's add one more letter to the foundation. Then I'll tell you a story to show you how it all works. A. I'm adding an A here for the adrenal glands. These are the guys that make adrenaline. Adrenaline is the most powerful fight or flight hormone. This also makes the stress hormone called C. Do you know what C stands for? Cortisol. Cortisol is a little more long-acting. The whole thing, called the HPA axis, it makes more sense to just call this whole thing the fear and safety system. Let's see how it works in action. Can you think of a time when you were startled? Maybe you saw a giant spider, or someone just jumped out at you. I'm sorry if it wasn't a pleasant experience, but it'll help if you can remember a specific time, because we've all had the experience of being scared, right? So that totally happened to me when I was 16 years old. I was doing this hike with my family out in Utah, and we were hiking up what at the time seemed like this giant mountain. I was always running ahead. My parents finally just threw their hands up because they realized long ago they couldn't control what they couldn't control. So I'm hauling it up these switchbacks, back and forth. They're getting further behind me, and I just kept focusing on the top because I could see it through the trees here and there, and I'm moving my body, I'm getting a good workout in, and at 16 years old, I'm thinking about how I'm free, and I'm picturing how awesome it'll feel to be at the top of this mountain. Oh, and I remember, it was Zion National Park, this incredible place, if you ever get a chance to get there. So my parents, their voices of concern, I can hear them getting quieter and quieter in the background. And I'm looking up, I'm breathing in the air, this crisp, fresh air. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, snake! Before I even realized what happened, my body flew back, and I totally freaked out. Suddenly, my heart was beating so fast, my eyes were crazy dilated. It was like I had super hearing, super sight. Heck, if a mosquito flew by the outside of my left elbow, I swear I would have felt the flutter of the air, like all my senses were just jacked up. And as I started to realize what was happening, I started laughing. Because that snake, it really was a harmless, snake-looking stick. The fact that it was a stick did not matter. But the fact that part of my brain thought it was a snake, that absolutely did matter. So what happened here? Information was coming into the brain. That information, in this case, was a snake-looking object. It came in through my eyes, went in through my brain, and this filter, remember the amygdala, was constantly looking out for things that could be a threat. And before I even realized what my body was doing, my body was already jumping back, my heart rate was jacked, my blood vessels squeezed down to push more blood to the brain, my eyes dilated. There was even this extra energy available in my system, in my veins. Maybe I almost even had some endorphins starting to make me feel superhuman. And it's all because this little trigger, this judger, this filter detected what it thought was a threat. And so it sent a signal to the me. It actually kind of bypassed the me because I didn't even realize it happened. And it went straight to the lower brain, and it made my body do all of those things automatically. Sounds pretty cool, right? See, this is how the fear and safety system was designed to work. In this case, it kept me very safe from the stick. But if that stick really was a saber-toothed tiger, heck, I was ready to fight or flight, baby. So this kind of fear and stress response is normal. We might not feel like getting started is a great thing, but getting startled actually is there to protect us. Are you starting to see how this could be useful? It's why I call it the fear and safety system, because it's designed to keep us alive and safe. And if the threat detector was wrong, if it's wrong now and then even, no big deal, right? Back in the cave person days, not a big deal. Heck, for me, as a 16-year-old teenager hiking, startled from a stick, okay, I felt freaked out for a few seconds. After a few minutes, I calmed my body down naturally, and I got to enjoy the rest of the beautiful hike up Zion and that very cool experience. Then later that night, I slept really well, and I totally recovered. But what happens if this same system, designed to keep us safe, is triggered over and over again? It's a little bit different. Remember how much this fear response happens below our conscious awareness? Well, this ties to the key problem here. If the sensory information coming in is not an immediate threat, but a threat in the future, the system still activates, but the activation is more subtle. And when the brain perceives a possible threat in the future, the brain, the me, automatically tries to keep focusing on it. Let me say that again. The brain, specifically the me, if it perceives a serious threat in the future, or what it thinks is a serious threat, it will continue to focus on that threat. And the brain tries really hard to keep focusing on it. I have a question for you. How creative are you? Because I really love working with creative people, and I love being creative. Well, the brain can get really creative in coming up with and imagining worst case scenarios for potentially threatening scenarios, especially if they're in the future. Can you relate? In the next video, I'll explain exactly how this can lead to a loop that over time can cause this fear and safety system to overactivate and make you sick. Trust me, I know firsthand. I was this supposedly smart and hardworking doctor, and I got very sick from it. I'm willing to bet maybe you've had a similar experience in your past when these patterns were happening too. Let me know how you find this information helpful and what you're looking forward to learning next. I'm looking forward to receiving and responding to your comments and messages. When you start seeing how these insights will help others, feel free to like and share this video. I'll see you guys at the top of the next video. Until then, decide to feel grateful, healthy, and vital. Stay well, my friends.